What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Gio, also known as the Night Owl, coming at you with a mid-high fade. Let's get right into it. First off, you want to go ahead and get your Slimline Pro LIs. I started off with my zero guideline. As you can tell, I didn't go too straight, just because I did want to leave some room to be able to fade a little more to the back. But you want to go ahead and make it as neat as possible. Take off all the excess hair, and that's pretty much the first step. Alright, so right here you want to go ahead and grab the ear as gently as possible, just because some of the clients do have a very delicate ear. But just a reminder. You always want to remember that you have to dust off your client, just to try to keep a clear canvas, be able to see what you're working with. The next step is going to be the Andy shaver. You want to go ahead and leave yourself about quarter to a half inch of space between the first guideline and the guideline that you're going to make with the shaver. The one I'm using right now is the Pro Lithium Ion Andes shaver. It's pretty good. I would give it a 5-star review. So you want to go ahead and make sure you get every single hair. If you do happen to miss some hairs, just go back with the trimmer, trim it down, and then shave it again with the shaver. So right here, I go ahead and grab my Slimline Pro LIs again. I just want to make sure I have a very evened out canvas of the zero. That way it's much easier to shave down with the Pro Lithium Ion shavers. Same thing, it's like a double tap. Just want to go ahead and remind yourself of that. Once again, you want to clear your canvas. Alright, so right here I'm showing you guys how to shave down. It's a little bit of a light touch going down. You want to make sure you get all the area. Once you do that, I usually do it like once or twice. You want to go ahead and shave upwards, also very lightly. You don't want to make the line go up. You just want to basically bevel out or flick. Alright, so going into my second guideline, you want to go ahead and grab your clippers. You want to open it all the way without a guard. And you want to go ahead and go up about half an inch. The way that I do it is I go by the eyebrow and then go about maybe a fourth or half inch from. Just want to go ahead and make sure you get the whole area about maybe once or twice. Just because the first time you're going to put in your guideline, it's not always going to get all the hairs. But once you go in there once or twice, you'll be able to get every single one. It's just better just to go over it once or twice. Right here, I'm explaining to you how to put in the guideline. Since you're just putting it in, you're not really fading, so you can go straight up. Now right here you want to go ahead and close it about halfway. Now you are going to start fading, so you want to go ahead and bevel out or flick out, like most people say it. You don't want to go past the guideline that you already made. You just want to stay in the middle, always hitting that small line. After that, you want to go ahead and close the clipper just a little more, making sure that you keep it organized. You remember where you're at. If you keep going down in one area and then you open it at another area, trust me, you're gonna get confused. So you always want to make sure that you know where you opened it and where you closed it. Alright, same thing again. Now I'm closing it all the way, just hitting that zero line. And don't worry about it if the zero line doesn't take off with the guard closed all the way. You can always go in there with the trimmer. I usually always do that just to make sure I really get that zero guideline out.
No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me.
Alright, so the next guideline that you guys gonna want to make is with the 1/16 guard or the half guard. You want to go ahead and just hit the top line. You don't want to go up too much, maybe like 1/8 of an inch to like maybe 1/4 of an inch. It's really small. You just want to tap it. Alright, so right here I'm showing you guys the number 2 guard all the way open. Right here I'm just taking off all the excess bulk that I don't need, making sure I have my area clean. Don't worry about it. It will take off some hair, but most of the hair from the top you can just clip over, comb it, so it doesn't really matter if there's still some long hairs right there. Alright, now with 1.5 guard, you want to go ahead and close it all the way. This is pretty much the beginning of where I'm going to start to fade down. Basically what fading down means, I'm going to start using the highest comb all the way to the lowest comb. So right now I'm going to use the 1.5 guard. Next I'm going to use the 1 guard, and last I'm going to use the half guard. Fading downwards, it's just a little easier for me. Maybe you guys might find it a little challenging, or you guys might actually find it a little easier as well as I do. Right there I opened it, but I closed it again. So you want to go ahead and keep it at a certain level. You don't want to go past the point where you already have put the 2 guard. Right here I'm getting the 1 guard. I'm gonna open it all the way first. Once again, you don't want to go as high as where you put the 1.5 guard. And right here you want to go ahead and make sure you are beveling out. You want to pass that dark line, but at the same time you also want to keep it in the area where you put the 1.5 guard. After this, you want to go ahead and close it all the way. Same thing, keeping it at that line, just a little lower than where you put the open. Keep going, bevel out. Always remember to bevel out. And as you can tell, it's coming through. The line's not there no more, but you always want to go ahead and make sure it's completely gone. By doing that, I go ahead and grab the 1.5 guard, the 1/16 guard. Same thing, open it all the way, and I want to hit right below where I had already hit with the 1 guard. Same thing, beveling out. You always want to make sure that you do a flick out motion, and now you want to go ahead and close it just a little more. After this, if you see some dark spots, you want to go ahead and touch it up. Basically, you can go in there with the corners with more beveling out. That way your hair comes out a little more crispier. that would be considered detail work. For me, I usually like to put that together at the same time while I'm fading. But some people like to fade and then detail. It's just personal preference. You always want to keep your area clean, dust off your client. Sometimes hairs might fall in the face, client gets itchy. Just want to go ahead and keep their face and everything clean. So my next step right here is going to be lining up the side. Pretty easy. You want to go ahead and follow the hair already. You don't want to push your client back. Pushing your client back is the worst thing you can do, since in 3 or 4 days your hair is going to grow back and it will look a little funky. So you always want to make it look as natural as possible. I don't use any hair enhancements, any hair dye. Some barbers like to use that. My personal preference is I don't really like to use it. That right there is shaving gel. I usually use Elegance. That's my favorite brand, Elegance. You always want to use a new blade on every new client. Can't be using the same blade on different clients. Alright, right here you want to go ahead and use your left hand to go ahead and pull some skin, and use your right hand to shave. You want to be as gentle as possible. If you push in too hard with the blade, you will cut your client, so just very light touches right there to take off all the excess shaving gel. So right here I'm just looking at the video, trying to see where I can hit a little more. There's some areas where I can probably detail a little more, and that's exactly what I'm doing. You want to keep detailing until you yourself feel like the haircut is good. Sometimes you want to go and look at your mirror. Trust me, your mirror is going to be your best friend. The mirror is going to tell you things that you can't even see. Right here, I'm taking off all the long hairs to the short hairs, just because I'm going to give my client a lineup. And you want to go ahead and separate the short hairs from the long hairs. And every time you do a lineup, you want to go ahead and make sure that you lightly tap, because same thing, sometimes the trimmers can be a little sharper than usual, and they could leave scars on people's heads. I'm telling you because I've seen it happen. I've had clients come in here, they previously got a cut about a month ago and they still have a scar. So you want to go ahead and make sure you just lightly tap it. Right here I grab my 4.5 guard closed. I'm going to go ahead and clean up my client's eyebrows because they are getting a little long. Usually I always see on Instagram videos that they go in there with the 1.5. I personally prefer closing it just because it is a little cleaner. So all the excess hair that you see, you want to go ahead and take it off. I usually use the blade, but it's easier right now to use the trimmer. Right there, you don't have to position your hand like that. I just did it for the camera. It's a lot easier when you're in front of the client. So basically, finished with the first side of the haircut. If you guys follow every single step on the next side, it's gonna be completely easy. They're exactly the same. But since I did have a long time, like 14 minutes, I ain't gonna cut it short. But that's pretty much the end of the video, guys. Thanks.